Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Nubia, the Crusader Kings 3 series here on the Lord Master channel. And as you can see, our realm has expanded recently, so no longer that really crooked name of Nobadia shows. Instead, it shows a little bit more proper, especially pointed towards this direction of where we've recently expanded through the eastern Nubian desert. We call this Western Nubian Desert, and this path here separates it. This is Eastern Nubian Desert. So, yeah, we used Kyrgyz as a launching pad to start a duchy-sized holy war into the areas of the Duchy of Nakis, which I don't have that title unless I have to usurp it, but money's going elsewhere soon. Because the real target is this barony of Aydhab, which is now war-torn. It used to have buildings, but now it's been destroyed due to these past two sieges. Because that is a feudal area, while the other two are tribal, so that's why we appointed a tribal vassal of Beja origin. While I intended to make this a Nubian port, not only we had to convert it to Coptic faith first, before we introduced Nubian culture over there. So, I don't know why I chuckled a bit, other than, well, we did what we did. So first things first, as we'll get this under control in how long, by the way? In 3 years' time. I believe we can do a bit better. Manage domain. And it'll take, well, it'll still take 3 years' time, but at least it's a little faster, I think. Haven't paid attention. 2.42? 2.56. Can we have a better seneschal than our current one? As far as aptitude is concerned. Nope, there's nobody better. How about you, Marius? Okay, you're my heir. I mean, oh, the job pays well. I mean, you get to have, you get to pay in gold and prestige I can give you. If you do good work with it. Until we find someone better. So for now, my daughter and heir will be taking over. Nice, seneschal. Give me a moment, I'm just replying a text to someone because the first priority is to try to get some control up as much as possible. Anyways, so first things first, I want you to build a trade port so we can have more tax income, not only there but also from trade out in sea. That's the reason why we travel to the sea for. It's like, yes, it's just all desert, it's no floodplains, no drylands, it's just all desert. So, even though it's devastated by war, destabilized by war, raiders were pillaged. Traditional ascension site. After the last couple of coordinations, and it's a permanent modifier, so popular opinion up. Good on them. If it's even relevant. Recently looted, which that thing will go away in a year's time. That's good. Because it was previously attacked by Prestige. So. So we will construct the small harbor, which will take 6 years' time, but it could be potentially reduced. What's the development? I didn't see the development part. 8. But stalled. Due to, you know, recent things. Yeah, we can give it an improvement. And plus it reduces the building construction time a little bit. Now it takes 4 years, possibly less once the modifiers expire, including this. In the meantime, I want you to know the strength of Egypt, as they're still fighting against the Phantomites. The counselors are rather active. I'll sway you. Right then, let's go inspect. Perform a thorough inspection of your lands to ensure your realm is a well-running machine, and look for opportunities to improve upon the current bureaucracy and situation. Border county, very low county control. Yeah, you ought to be careful when you're traveling up to these sort of places, so you're gonna have significant funding with this. Fortunately, it doesn't cost as much when doing such inspections. And it's going to be with an overseer tent compared to survey tent, which is to give additional bonuses for the capital hours, but no, it's to improve success chance over that. Just get a mountaineer and a desert warrior and you'll be alright. 306. Again, won't cost you much. On our way. And since we're no longer in wartime, stock up for travels. Ready? It's time to take matters in my own hands. I'll personally oversee the workings of Aydhab. I shall count every sheep, every fortification, every sword, and every sack of grain, or lack thereof. Though my realm will be the most managed there is. Let us ride. And mind you, I'm an excellent up-and-coming administrator. I've been making improvements on myself as a character, because you got all the martial that you need. You don't need more of it, so you should work on other skills when we'll do that monument expedition. After this. Alright. Alright, now we got coastal sea access. Coastal access provides rulers with enhanced trade opportunities, improved logistic capabilities, and diplomatic relevance, fostering economic growth and military advantages. Your vassal provinces also count as maritime access. So with coastal sea access, the opinion of liege is -10, which I'm sure my liege is like, you have access to the sea? I'm a little jealous of you. But it does give out development growth for me, for all, and cultural fascination progress, as long as I'm the culture head of the Nubian culture. Yeah. Again, temporarily, and I say temporarily rather loosely, because now that we have this fascination, we'll get these siege weapons in 4 years' time, so you ought to make some investments on that. But only have them if you feel like you're going on the offensive again. Don't need that. That'd be nice to have. Good for holding taxes development. And of course these guys at the bedges have and we don't, but don't think it'll be necessary. But if I remain culture head after we get the new innovation, we got to have this. You got to select this in order to have primogeniture, so we don't have to worry about partition and all that. Also, I just noticed, what is this thing about Nubianization? Must be unlocked by decision. Oh, that time hasn't come yet. And meanwhile, low natural resources. Your realm lacks the essential natural resources necessary for improving and maintaining infrastructure. Wood or stone are rare commodities. Increase the number by having your territory that consists of forests and mountains. Well, there is desert mountains, but no mountains. And where the hell are you going to find forests? And because of this, the building construction time and cost has increased due to the lack of it. Now it takes 3 years left because the modifier went away. And in a year's time, this modifier will go away and then we'll have a trade post. And I say excellent. Excellent, I say. Anyways, move on. Another march-up contest. You have what it takes? You can do it. No, hell, I'll do it. I lose. To make my chances slightly more susceptible to my attempts of approaching him, I can include a compliment of in my next mission to his court. I'll be sure to mention his oh, what are you got this paragon? Just say relentless courage. This was so extraordinary. I cannot help think it might both benefit and increase communication. Excellent. See, I told you we'd get along. Okay, shadow fine. As I arrive in Aydhab, I'm brought to the study. A group of servants attend to all my needs and fuss around me for a while until I ask them to leave. How am I meant to focus on my task at hand if they keep running around the room? With them out of the way, I can finally start working on my plans, which is to, well, since I care about control, improve the bureaucracy here in Aydhab. 58% chance of success. That's where we start off. Fishing dispute. Damn it. As I travel through the streets here, I find myself facing a woman being threatened by some sort of ruffian in the middle of the day. She screams for help, and as she looks at me and my guards, some mercenaries in the city has been turning to banditry and crime to sustain themselves as of late. But I had no idea it's gotten this bad. Do I want to step in and help this poor woman? Perhaps they're all open for a job offer. They seem to be good at handling locals after all. Since we do make quite a sustainable income, we're fully recovered, but economically not quite there yet. So 30 gold success chance increase, and it'll have a mercenary garrison. It'll lower the popular opinion, which we'll worry about potential peasant revolt later. But as the offensive war opinion goes down, well, don't have to worry about it. So faster control growth, that's what I want. Big jump. Troublesome mercenaries. That they are. Hostile nobles, they keep decreasing. God damn it, people. Power among the locals. Success chance increase. After thoroughly scrutinizing all the documents I could find, I've managed to wrestle out some of the extra budget I can reallocate to alleviate some of the local infrastructure issues troubling the county. I need to figure out which section of the bureaucracy is most in need of some extra aid. Local garrisons are struggling as of late, so improved control reward if successful. So 30% chance of a success chance increase for even more improved control. 66% chance of a slight increased success chance for adjusted control. 2% chance decrease. Well, what's that we land on? Successful reallocation, so just to control every little bit helps. You know, since you've been getting perks in a hurry. Hey, 1 second. What kind of vassal are you? Minority. Excellent. Go for this. Vassal opinion increase. You get these perks every 2-3 years. Who knows, I probably want to be inspector. In addition to being, you know, gallant. I was going to go for strategist, but since I'm kind of, well, toned down on it. And if I'm still culture head by then, we should pick up that learning perk. Wait a minute, the university. Oh yeah, you can go. But obviously you're going to need a lot of money for that. Anyways, continue with your work. Continue with your inspection. The herbalists and physicians of Hakoros have become famous in recent times for their quality herbal medicines, made using various plants, herbs, minerals, and so on that are uniquely native to Hakoros. We should invest to support this important work. Increase how long the counter modifier will last. Just a bit more holding tax and development there. Troublesome mercenaries again. You what? Neighboring ruler just insulted me. Lost some prestige. Insult grants shows supremacy Caspelli. Don't make it come over there. It's not safe at all, my lord. A haggard-looking traveler tells me. Barely survived in my life, I did. True to his word, it sounds like he's been through quite an experience. It seems people from all over have traveled here to see the desert way stations, only to be intercepted by criminals. If we allow bandits at footpaths continuing preying on visitors, it's only a matter of time until they start looking elsewhere. I'll recruit a small guard patrol to protect travelers. We'll have a garrison monument. Chance for monument expedition skill point. I'll be sure to remember that when I go over there again. God damn it, people! Keep getting bad modifiers. Local vessel. Okay, that's an increased one. Extra taxes, that's an increase. At times it looked like the movie would end in corruption haunting Aydhab, but at every turn something new needed to be fixed. There was always another bandit group pillaging, another corrupt noble hiding away taxes, or another building that needed renovation. Though it was a heroic effort on my part, there's only so much one man can do. I will return and put this right at some other point in time. So inconclusive inspection. So the next time you come over there, inspection success chance will increase. But popular opinion did go up a bit. So at least you were there. Now it'll take 22 months to get it under full control. +3,000 men, but they're in debt. So oh, now they have a child ruler. Lost one of the territories. Journey across the sands of Imo, a caravan of laden camels crosses our path. The caravan master notices our entourage halts the procession. Noble travelers, he calls out with a grin. Perhaps you have fancied a glance at the treasures these sturdy beasts carry. For the right price, the wonders of the desert could accompany you on your travels. Because I'm an impatient person, I don't want your artifacts. So I'll say no need. Perhaps we can travel together for a while. Just until we get home. As far as university visits concerned, you've already been to Constantinople, and the only other good one that is Christian related would have to be over in Florence. Why not Rome? What happened with Rome? That's just not available. Some of my accounts believe that the job is theirs by right of blood or influence alone. How wrong they are. I expected results, and I'm often disappointed. After a long day, I have complained to Pelagia, which interrupts me. Let me do something about it, husband. A few lessons might sharpen their wits. Perhaps you have some advice for spy master Khalid. Because we know that man knows. So over in Florence, there's that place. We can go there, but it's going to cost you. You have any idea how much that costs? Especially when you do this option. 322. If you want our mercenaries and experienced captains. Yeah, that's going to cost you a lot. But it also presents an opportunity to travel across Italy to visit all these landmarks. I'll keep that well in mind. So control will be going up in no time. Over the past month, the domain's been under intense rain that caused catastrophic floodings and a major social disaster, as the control of my county show. Unfortunately, roads were ravaged, houses and government buildings were destroyed, militias that assured local safety were wiped out, and financial losses to the general populace were enormous. My steward came up with a relief plan that will help the communities affected, that will restore a semblance of order in my domain again. What will I do? God dang. I mean, more control is good. And provides even faster control growth. Without these, well, it doesn't cause population to be lowered, but definitely damage the control of all these places that are in my domain. That explains why the economy is so damn shot. Especially someone that was plague infected. And among other things during wartime. Okay. Implement the plan. It'll be worth the investment to get control up faster. And it'll help with the income. At first I noticed hints of unease, then I noticed clues of anger, and I finally confirmed someone of my council's clear attempt to harm my prestige by spreading half troops and lies about my person among my peers. When I try to discover who is the guilty member of the council, the rascal covered his or her tracks very well, and my investigation came in on. That being said, I have a strong suspicion about the actions of Simon. Is he the traitor? I'll recover my prestige in time. I'm reminded by my steward that a traveling group of actors arrived in town for the week, suggesting we might hire them to perform on the upcoming feast day. Go to the market and assess their skill. Let me take a drink. Shakanda and I make our way to the market square, in the center of which now stands a temporary wooded stage. The assembling curious steps for our lord. We soon find ourselves in the first row, just in time for the play's start. The play essentially oppresses two outlandishly costumed actors who duel with wooden swords as well as rhyming, baldy insults. At the end of each round, a doctor character in a crow mask restores the loser so the warriors can resume their fight. At the play's end, the crowd erupts in cheers and applause. The actors take the bow and remove the heavy mask, revealing that the crow doctor is a strikingly attractive young man. I approach the troop's director. Well, listen. All these things that have been happening lately, I've been in a bad mood, Had a bit of a shortcoming from the inspection. And a flooding disaster, and among other things, caused control to be lowered, but we decided to provide major relief. So hire them for a funny play. I need humor. The woes of a hapless peasant. The play staged at a castle tells of a witless peasant whose efforts are thwarted by a host of animals cleverer than him. Towards the end, a scene features the peasant walking around the hall, throwing apples over his shoulder, which the actors dressed as various woodland animals catch and throw back into the audience to cheers and calls of, "Here, to me!" When the peasants turn to check on his apple sowing, the animals hide on the lap of the nearest audience member, provoking much jostling and groping. The evening's performance ends with a raucous applause. The court's moods much lifted for the entertainment. This was very enjoyable. Lose some of my stress, and everybody was amused. All of my courtiers, and among others. As I was on my way to a nearby village today to pay a visit to a cherished acquaintance that was ill, my spy master briskly warned me about a murder attempt against me being thwarted at the last minute. After some commotion, he was adamant, telling me an assassin was caught planning to murder me in a nearby village. The thug paid with his life after being creatively interrogated, and it was clear that the religious fanatic hailing from the province where I have ordered a religious conversion. These type of ambitious policies could lead to dangerous implications down the road. Magnificent job, Ghalib. Your spies were able to foil the action that may have well caused your demise. The chance for this happens depends positively on your spy master. It's very high intrigue. Only something better than 17 qualifies for a bonus. And on being a schemer. Your own high intrigue better than 11, which it isn't. Also Increases the chance of this outcome. Affecting negatively of your outcome are your low intrigue, less than 8, which I have 8, and your spy master intrigue lower than 15. As you are about to be facing your own death, you might be understandably shaken depending on your personality traits. So I just gained a bit of stress for being impatient and vengeful. This is going to happen a lot, don't it? As we're trying to convert this land, this barony here, to Coptic Christianity that we're trying to introduce there. And I'm still getting stressed because I'm trying to get impatient for this damned laws. These damned realm laws around here. Average power projection this time. What's going on down there? I just noticed there's an ongoing siege. Is this territory related? Yeah, a claim. See, this is why Shakanda's the better man. Yeah, our economy isn't the best right now, but it's just we're investing on this. Okay, very high now, flood. So this will get us going again. So it must be the years now flood is why we didn't get much income. 2 years left. Possibly less. Because the modifier of recently Lulu is about to expire. During one of our lessons in my daughter Zarabeka's chamber, I noticed an impressive amount of rocks neatly displayed on a shelf. One of the stones stand in the collection. It's quite rough, but upon closer inspection, it's deeply red, brilliant contained within. Zarabeka noticed my interest and she picks up hands over me. You can have it, Father. Oh, thank you. Is that a gem? +2 learning. A shiny gemstone unearthed by Zarabeka in the vicinity of Fred. Why, thank you. +2 learning. Every little bit helps. Steamed ties. Of course, paid a ransom. That's another thing we need. I tend to forget. Ransom. That's too bad I can't ask the head of faith for money. Either doesn't have any, or he just plain don't like me. Well, he just plain don't like me. Well, I've been getting on your good side. So after I sway you one more time, then I'll start swaying the Pope. Because I'm going to need some financial assistance on my end. But the real reason is to go to that university or large religious center over in Florence. Because I would like to have higher education on my end. Resource management gain 33 gold. Excellent. Okay. You tried to convert, but did that do anything? Okay, it did over there. It's currently focusing over there rather than I said over there. That's what I wanted over there. You introduced the faith out in the open desert where there's nobody there. I want it there. That's where the money is. Mercenary contract's expired, which will let it be. What the hell? My liege, a controversy erupted with the clergy use of religious icons and symbol that would seemingly casual dispute has the potential to escalate, causing division and unrest among the faithful. Deal with your sins or hire a skillful court chaplain. There is one way to deal with one of my sins, at the least. Intimate reckoning. Do you wish to risk that? Don't know if you should. Okay. Now, I must sway you with your holiness, but, however, it's very hard because title tier scheme modifiers, which is likely due to distance. Maybe perhaps I'll compliment you. The reason he will not ask you for gold is because, well, one, I'm a sinner, and two, he just plain don't like you that much. There. I'll give you some piety. I mean, that's a start. Do speak the Sudanic language. I don't know what you could declare war for. I mean, obviously, it means Egypt. Huh? One day I will change my ways, but it's a long shot. Okay, modifiers expired, so now it'll be 9 months before we get this small harbor at the trade post ready. This will also help with the development growth, as it's been stagnant over there and ruined by war, mainly on my end. The sky is like waves of red and yellow and dark pink, as the sun slowly wades itself deeper and deeper down the horizon. Is this a lovely scene? My companion asks with a smile. I don't disagree. Suddenly I begin to wake up. Alas, what a beautiful sunset I saw in my dream. But who was my mysterious companion? Intervening in the war. Rebecca. Into diplomacy, so you're a master diplomat now. Oh yeah, she picked up a few traits she had to lose like this. She's also an event planner. This character has a natural talent for organizing and planning events. They possess an eye for detail and excel at creating memorable experiences for the court. Their event planning skills contribute to the court's social calendar, ensuring that the celebrations and gatherings are executed flawlessly and leave a lasting impression. So she's not only, a woman of military matters, but also into administration as well. Good to know. She's also socially awkward, unfortunately, so this character is known for their awkward and off-putting behavior in social situations. They often struggle with appropriate social cues and having difficulty to connect to others. Their eccentricities and social ineptitude make them an outsider in a court, leading others to prefer avoiding outside interactions with them. Although honestly, she has a shy trait, and this kind of fits with her personality. She's not in diplomacy at all. Unlike myself, who is more, trusting, but more impatient. But however, she's fickle and shy, so she's not that impatient. She's just sometimes she changes her mind whether she wants to or wants to be seen. I mean, that could be a possible issue going forward. And how old are you again? 24. Okay. Caravan Master died. We'll find a new one whenever I'm ready to travel. Ah, yes. Should do that. Because of what the hell's going on up in Egypt these days. The invasion ended. Now he's declared himself Caliph. Shia Caliphate. So the crisis averted. Ah, okay, so hostage declaring hindered from declaring war against King Debutantes and declaring war because he saw hostage exchanges. So I see. So Egypt is safe from Fatimid invasion for now. But sometimes I don't wish to trust myself with these kinds up here. Say you could fortify the border, but what's my Lord of the Mountain skill? 24. Well, we're about to increase that a bit. Time for more paperwork. The frontier of Egypt and Nubia is an important border region for many reasons. Military, political, and economic. As Lord of the Mountain, it's my duty to defend against any enemy armies traveling along the Nile Valley. Thus I source some resource to repair old forts and outposts, build new ones as needed, to provide support to the messengers and patrols who travel to and from these locations, and for our troops to flush out any bandits and raiding desert tribes here. However, sometimes the local people or traveling merchants might be wary of any efforts to exert our authority over them, so I might have to dedicate some extra resource to ensure everything goes smoothly. No need to spend additional funds, I'm willing to have a look, so I'll say the resources we have are adequate. So, all counties who completed control of the frontier will gain control of these effective results. Whilst that's what we need. Control gain, because it's not all the way up there yet. I received word from my subordinates that our efforts to fortify our border along the frontier of Egypt and Nubia are going smoothly. We have successfully maintained our defenses, supported our messengers and patrols, captured and killed a number of bandits and raiders in these parts. It appears my underlings have done an excellent job of our recent endeavors. The locals and traveling merchants appreciate our efforts, helping where they could, and understanding that they too can play a role in our defense to keep us well defended for now. So control up 10. My trade experience. So there you go. So there's some improvement. That'll keep us well defended. See, every little bit helps. Not necessarily that, but okay, it does help for those in your personal control, even if it's, I mean, it's close by the frontier rather than the Nile River valleys, but you get the idea. Not to mention increases holding taxes. Remember, once we have this built, there's going to be more ways to get more gold in there. That was our good realm priest. And our new one, well, he's similarly skilled. He's not a sinner, nor he's virtuous, so good. Still have very high nav luck. Fantastic. I'm still the culture head. We are about to get this in 20 months' time. You could go expect again, but you can't do it until 5 years. Remember, just to use that as an example. It only costs you 90 some odd gold to do this. But for a monument expedition, because I would like to, what do I lack in my department? Stewardship's going great. You do lack intrigue though. And there are a few areas that isn't in need of intrigue. Unfortunately, it's not that far from here. Protected point of interest. Ah yes, I remember something like that. Okay, that actually costs way more. Inspections are cheaper. Let's remember that. Elephant meat. A large elephant was recently killed in Pakros by hunters working under the Hunters Guild, patronized by my great dynasty. Though the elephant's meat belongs to me, some of my courts suggest that I distribute the meat among some of the communities in Pakros to demonstrate my generosity. How's the population opinion of? Oh, it's very good. Keep for myself. I can get a bit stressed every now and again, so I'll say no, I'll keep the meat. All to myself. Your popular opinion is good enough. Small harbors constructed. Oh look, you can increase taxes on Hajj pilgrims in Aydhab. Popular opinion over there is still low, but offensive war will go down with time. And it doesn't cost you money to do it. So, every day, caravans of Muslim pilgrims pass through the Red Sea ferry of Adnan on their way to and from Mecca. Perhaps we can levy some extra taxes on these travelers, though no choice given there are only so many safe and reliable routes from Africa to Mecca. However, doing so might make Aydhab survive a port so it can more attractive destination for pilgrims. So remember, if you do that, you'll get more money, but development growth will be hobbled, as does popular opinion. Unless the ruler over there does that, which means more development growth and reinforcement over there. But I already have my steward over there who's currently in development growth there, so actually do that. So for historical context, there are only a few major ports fair Hajj pilgrims to and from Mecca across the Red Sea, such as Aydhab, and sometimes its rulers would levy extra taxes on the pilgrims. However, they had to be careful not to overdo it, lest they divert pilgrim traffic to their chief rival, Sukin, which is just across the down the road over there. Let's do it. A great number of pilgrim caravans passing through this important port here to and from Mecca are already a major source of revenue for me. Now the tax they pay for safe passage across the Red Sea. Though some may see my new policy of levying extra taxes on these pilgrims as cruel and unjust, I decided it is necessary to bring in even extra wealth to my coffers, and many elites in Aydhab are on board with this idea. At any rate, I know the elites in Sukin, the traditional rival Aydhab along the Red Sea, are watching these developments with great interest. Might as well profit even more from the pilgrims here for the next 10 years, cause I need more wealth. Also, we should contact with the Indian Ocean pirates. If we are to associate ourselves with pirates, we need to be in regular communication with them in the first place, since we have access to the Red Sea, which is part of the Indian Ocean in some ways. There's always been a home of pirates. Skilled rulers know when to work with pirates for mutual gain, so I will just be willing to spend little money and sell my legitimacy. Or we'll have armed. We'll have that. So we'll have Indian Ocean pirate connection for the next 10 years. For future reference. So it'll be monthly income a bit, and however, control growth and decline will be haveled, but it's almost to full control now. We're good. So for historical context, the line between an armed merchant and a pirate was often blurry. Simple looting was often, but not a viable long-term goal. Thus, historically, many maritime regions like the Indian Ocean, many elites often worked together with pirates for profit and gain, and to weaken mutual foes who were economic competitors. These pirates can be an access to us, because my diplomacy and level of fame is high enough. The high sea has been rife with pirates since ancient times. As such, for centuries, rulers have sought to make use of pirates in different ways. After all, many of us have shared interests. That's not to mention many pirates are actually merchants as well. So there's always potential for profit. And following in the footsteps of these many other rulers, I have instructed my officials to make productive connections with a group of pirates who are willing to work with us. They may not be under our control, but still, even if I have to give them shelter in my ports, we could help each other in the long run. Especially if they agreed not to target my territories. A pragmatic but necessary measure. So we'll hear from them again in 5 years' time. Not to be confused with finance piracy operation, which does cost more money, and lowers my piety gain, which will get negative piety. And it's possible you may get rewards out of this. So 5 years' time, we'll hear from them, and I'll get to pick that option. And I'm reminded, since thanks to our adjacency with Red Sea, Indian Ocean, we do have access to the maritime trade, Dynasty Legacy. Look again. Decision to reinforce relations with Silk Road communities can only be taken more than once in a lifetime. Which is always attractive as long as you have a county held over there. But I would love to have these two, especially with the more domain limit thing. Perhaps we'll have to switch it up and go for this while we can. If you travel with Silk Road merchants instead of Trans-Saharan merchants, which I've not used either option, you can get more gold. Increases the chances of. But having this to take more than once in a lifetime, that would be excellent. And you get to send presented skilled silker entertainers, which is another way of increasing the opinion of someone. Something I would have to think about. Since we're not only defensive intensive, but a little bit trade intensive. So yeah, that's something to think about in the far future, which makes me excited for the future. Okay. My sister took it prisoner. Oh boy. Okay, we got full control now. Now, are there any other places that are not yet under full control? Capital is because okay, the gold mine needed under full control again. Well, meanwhile, we're just trying to spread our faith there, but it'll take a long while. I don't want to introduce Nubian culture over there yet. If I was to build another building over there, I would have to consider this place as being economically viable. Like, more focused on that. Like, I would build desert agriculture there. Of what it will look like in the future. Your income's excellent now, so you know what? Go for it. At least you got Empire connections to give you some wealth. Give it a go. I mean, yes, it's a small tax increase, but hey, at least you reduce the cost if you wish to hold a feast over there, for whatever reason. Hey, Count Zachariah's fourth feast. Okay, I'll be there. Who is that man again? Oh, over there. You know what? Sure, I'll be there. None of this, please. Need a new caravan master. We do have an excellent one. Even though you're all a bunch of elderlies, but you'll do. Yeah, there's one big obstacle over there. And I'd like to be there as fast as I can. Even though I could have gone without one, but no, I prefer safety. It's just I don't want to spend too much since I'm a bit of a cheapskate these days. So, let's get moving. To the feast. Mutashkar is now an adventurer. The Badanaja riders, they call themselves, so they're wanderers. They've lost their land, and now he's going to Aswan. Because is that where his camp's located? While passing through the floodplains of Deva, my guest, Courtier almost gets swept by a concealed underwater current, is swiftly rescued by Master of the Hunt, Al-Ghafur. Sakuni, you need to be more careful. Al-Ghafur admonishes, concern evident in his voice. Sakuni offers to receive his grateful smile to him. Thanks, all you want. Let's make haste. I'm an impatient man. Servants run across all, bringing in final decorations. Some of my guests are yet to arrive, and I indulge myself with a delicious drink by the fire. Oh, I've seen the spot of some fresh quail already. We have a lovely time ahead of us. About a month's time before we start the feast. Perhaps I could befriend somebody. Who else is at the feast? Prowess. Any warrior courtiers? Not mine, theirs. Hey, I'd like to talk to this guy. If I can befriend him, I can invite him to court. Maybe. Can't guarantee. Every guest is gathered in the great hall, and our gracious host Count Zacharias has welcomed us all to the feast. I look forward to this. It's taken much of the evening to get myself close to Yakup without making it feel forced. After all, best of friendships are natural, and I want him to think that this is spontaneous. The man gently dabs at the corner of his mouth, with a sole tablecloth, brushing away crumbs of flaky pastry. I just hope the next course is a bit lighter. Yeah, thanks. The whole point of the feast is to provide a rich, varied culinary experience, and so far it has felt more like it's trying to stuff us than excite us. I did want him to become friends, so I'm willing to go against. Say yes. Said it was a sport choice, I think. He'd like to talk more. There's nothing like a feast. It reminds us of what is good in life, and the company is not too bad either. At least from those seated close to me seem to think so. You are something special, Tapara, as Sentico tells me. Count Zacharias, the Count calls is not there as an agreement. I just do what feels right to me. I forgot that I'm an eager reveler. My sisters left the prison. Wait. Did it said took her as a concubine? You son of a beeswax. You know what I would do for something like that? I mean, if only I had the option to declare a free captives war. Feast is winding down. I find myself deep in conversation with my composed guest, Sakuni. Well, I think you're the guy who was the guy who nearly drowned. But as a vengeful man, I said I could care not less. I don't care what you said to say. Embarrassing impatience. Count Zacharias knows slight delay in the servant food, and Stevanos looks ready to burst with frustration between Grum's displeasure. I'll say, here's the point. Where's our food? I say that because I'm also impatient. The final toast goes to no one. Daylight pours through the windows, and in just one moment the whole hall becomes illuminated. Most of the seats are now empty. Some servants hand me my weapons and take their leave of Jeribel. What a pleasure to have you with us, Count Zacharias smiles at me. What a feast. Before coming, my clothes were slack and ill-fitting. Now I staggered out of the halls twice. It's full of food and merriment when I arrived. This is a feast I will struggle to forget. But for now, I shall depart. Time to go home quickly and focus on making a lot of money to go to that university. At the foot of the particularly imposing Fort Hill in Napata, a group of children play at warriors. Their laughter counterpoint is on the other stone. One child, bold and bright-eyed, approaches with a wooden sword. Halt! No one may pass the fort of Christophoros! And a sensible man shouts gleefully. Oh wait, aren't you the Marquis? Quick! Great defenders, tell us the quickest way to these floodplains. Child hastened. Shovel around. Come on, come on. Ah! Ah! I didn't know you could do that if you have a traveling companion that is potentially a rival or is going to be a rival, or someone you don't particularly like. But no. Be nice. Treat him. I need her to keep her skills fresh as physician. I plan on using that in later. Okay, insignificant trade power. Your economic influence is minimal, hindering prosperity and limiting of all commerce. Your base trade power is determined by logical factors, such as you only have one trade port to begin with. I mean, that's one. So at least this is another source of income that you could get free gold out of. That's why this is all important to me, and the number one reason why I've been doing that. So now, trying to think. Oh yes, you can welcome the non-pastoralists in, if you have the money, and depending on the current flood, which currently it is under a very high flood. Low floods may be coming up. Just remain patient. I made my plans known. Cost of doing that is 25. So now I'm kind of interested in going for maritime instead of continuing with law. Because these first three, nice to have. But this we can do. For as long as I hold the coast. Damn. Where are we at this? In a year's time we were going to finally get these. For the whole Nubian culture. And then I will choose the one that will give me primogeniture in the future. Over the last years, security standards across the marketplace my domain have dropped dramatically, and finally the state of affairs is causing trouble to the control of my counties. While questions about the management of property and substantial space for the myriad of local fairs and markets have been raised, sellers and buyers have become restless as it leads to more and more clashes with local authorities being reported. Considering the political environment favors a diplomatic solution, I need to decide how will I proceed to best deal with this issue. Okay. Lowered popular opinion for everything, which I can do that. I would go for a diplomatic approach, but traits, however, like vengeful, not for me. I also have good stewardship. But this spends money. Or just strike harshly on all offenders, which I'm a vengeful person, but intrigue skill is not high. But I got a damn good spy master. So we'll go for that option. It'll give me lots of dread, whether if it's success or failure for this. Oh dear, that's a big risk. I think we'll have to play it safe. Just reinforce the local militia. Uninspired approach. I don't want to take that big gamble. Gregarious satisfaction with realm laws. I'm gregarious? Well, trusting, or whatever. Now this is a realm I dreamed of. The nobles set aside their petty prejudices. We are building alliances, expanding our influence far and wide. Our doors are open, and partners flourish. Trade routes stretch beyond our borders, and foreign dignitaries fill our halls with promises of mutual benefit. Isolation was never the answer. The world offers too much to ignore. Our realm's becoming a hub of culture, wealth, and power. And it's all because we had the courage to embrace what lies beyond. Finally, nobles will see the potential of these alliances, and the future is bright. Open diplomacy is necessary. That's what we have in our current realm laws? Yes, we do. Unfortunately, the women's rights used to be limited, but it's gone down so much with total subjugation. It does hinder our development, growth, and cultural fascination progress. As it says, women and children are entirely under the control of their male relatives, but a law offering no protection. Husbands, fathers, and brothers exercise absolute authority over their household, deciding every aspect of their wives and children's lives. Women cannot engage in trade, inherit property, or appear in public without male supervision. And any defiance is met with severe punishment. Domestic violence is not only tolerated but sanctioned by law. God, in a Christian country, that is a good nightmare. Although it does give you a bit of fertility, but the attraction opinion is lowered because they don't think women as highly as much. But I'm sure with time they'll probably relax it more, as it's always been back and forth, because it's usually done by my liege. What goes on in my liege's head to think such things? Are you lustful? Deceitful. And just... There's something going on with that man. Oh, by the way, he's incapable. I just realized that. He's incapable. What about the regent? So, Dennis is the regent. He's also content and patient. He's basically following his footsteps, but unfortunately he's incapable but also melancholic. No, anyways, for some reason I find myself reminiscing about my journey to Bugna, particularly the Ethiopic language I heard so often when I was there. There was something Semitic and Celtic about it, I just cannot forget. As fate would have it, a Habesha scholar named Taberna has come to visit my court. I could ask him for his services, and perhaps he could teach me Ethiopic. It will make my next journey so much more enjoyable. Spend little. Recently, my marshal came up with the idea of hiring a very talented individual to teach us some around the arts of guerrilla warfare. Now, the important bit is, am I supposed to attend the whole class? That's to prove my skills in this particular type of warfare? Of course, if I fail to learn the subject matter, I will cause a bad impression that will soon be made public. In the end, and to protect my status, I either refuse financing the course for everyone, or accept and participate on the endeavor. No, I refuse to finance. Against lechery. The council has barely assembled when my episcopal now takes the floor. My lord, have you visited the camps sprung beyond the city walls? They are filled with strumpets and misguided vagrants, provoking the ill sin of lechery on the men and women unfortunate enough to venture through this den of filth. I heard reports of a baffling buffet of bulgy behavior, bigamy, bastard bearing of baldy houses. Alliterations aside, I replied, what do you propose? You know we're in a... in a... what's that term again? That we're in a total subjugation of women's law here. This is a most serious matter, he retorts, offended by my attempted humor. To start, I propose a proclamation against the stinking and lurid sin of lechery. I then considered encouraging the vigilant surveillance of righteous residents to ferret out culprits who could be subjected to the pillory for shame to all see. For all to see. We could also export troublemakers from the city and forbid anyone from harboring the guilty. I pondered at the problem. On one hand, I could approach this from a religious perspective, emphasizing the morality of promiscuity. On the other, this is a form of trade between harlots and their customers with implications of public order and potentially taxation. Our income is a bit shot these days because the Nile flood's been overflooded. Let's see. It's only for my county. Regulate the practice and control its excesses. So regulated prostitution, I say. So it's a taxable trade. Every little bit of income helps. But unfortunately, you've done, you know... Now listen. Let me compliment you, okay? If I want the piety again, I'll go on a pilgrimage and repent of my sins. There you go. You got a bit more monthly income. I wouldn't worry about that too much. Successful planning. Good. Oh yeah, this expired. That's another reason why, you know, our income isn't, you know, great as it once was. Go for it. Every little bit helps to keep the monthly income going. And I really want to go to that university. I told you to do that. It said you're converting over there. Yeah, it's gonna be a long process of Christianizing this place. What do you mean by legendary heroes? What are you talking about? Ah, I see. The White Antelope. A master hunter. I got far into my chairs, brimming with excitement. I'm hearing strange things from the gamekeepers of Calypso. They tell glimpses of an antelope with snowy white fur. They said to roam the floodplains, though none have got close to it. There are indeed legends of such beasts. White, you say? And Pakuras. You don't forget the university. Seek the mythical animals sighted in the area. It's actually up there. Stay on this side of the Nile. Yeah, I'm willing to throw a bunch of money in it. I want good hunters. Slay the beast and make haste. We pursue the stuff of legends if it's real at all. Legendary animal sighting. White antelope. As we await the arrival of the rest of the guests, my servants can get started on preparations. Gameskeepers check the farmlands each day for sound and square while establishing a camp closest on the grounds. Out there, somewhere, the white antelope waits and watches. Yeah, it's floodplain terrain. It's not ideal ground for hunting. Small plantations constructed. Gain a bit of gold from trade. It true assembles the party as the sun rises over the camps and fields near Salvagoda. My many gameskeepers and flush pouring over the air for tracks and fumes. They haven't found anything, but I can feel it. Elusive creatures out there, somewhere nearby. The beast will be mine. 1 second. Where are you? Switch to dangerous game only. Listen, daughter, I need you to give me some money. You know, for the university. In fact, all of you. Including my damn knights. Because many of you are well paid individuals. As members of the court. But I need cash for the university. Because I'm tired of waiting around. Let the tax do that. Just empty it all. My knight, Taberna, crouched on the ground, humming cheerfully, picking orchards. He has lost all interest in art. Marquess, look at all these useful herbs and flowers here. Someone consume eggs. It's gonna be broken harvest. Someone wards off holy fire. Get back on your horse! I'm riding ahead of the group when the farmland suddenly grows still. The sound is almost palpable. Even the sound of my horse's hoofs seemed to melt away. Just about to turn back and find the others, I glimpsed ahead of me. Blurry as a dream. An antelope, white as snow. The rumors were true. I must have that antelope. My huntsman had pointed out clearing down where the beast colored perfect place to form a bow line and wait the antelope driven there by the hound's teams. Would be a fine chance to practice archery on a real moving target. No, I want to corner it. Maybe. But I don't think it matters. It's low chance of success because of how rare it is and all that. Can already keep up with the blast of pieces and darts that weave through the scrawny palms, snorting wildly. Scaling of rise disappeared and then sticking. The antelope is gone as quick as it appeared, with only panting dogs, sweaty horses to show for it. The damn thing is gone. He did a call to Wiles and adventure in this outing. Delivered a good and a bad in abundance. And the was disappointed party and exhausted down from the trip home. The antelope has indeed looted us this time. Let's leave this adventure behind for now. Now, save your money for the upcoming university trip. We go into Florence and go on the Italian tour. To get away from all this. Oh yes, welcome them in, because it's cheaper. And get additional ornament to fight for us. It's defensive war. Intervening. Demand payment for my niece. Gotcha. I just learned the Ethiopic language. Got your party back. 31 gold. One day, as I was paying a visit to one of the minor dwellings of my capital county, someone manages to bypass my henchmen and swiftly approach me, dagger in hand, yelling, "This is for you to remember to stop converting the religion of my county, you lowly scum!" Fortunately, I have 2 bodyguards close to me. Nevertheless, I must fight for my life. My retinue, to me! 1% chance I die. Thanks to my high prowess, which the old age is beginning to catch up to me, very well in mind. I'm getting to that age. We got it! Culture's now fascinated with coinage. Exposure is hereditary, which gains partition. No, no. We want African sacred rulership. In 31 years, which is a long time, which I don't think he'll be around for this age, but certainly during her time, she's going to be the one to try to convince all these vassals to get together and we'll have primogeniture law in our realm. That's the way it's going to be in future. And then we'll go for household soldiers afterwards. And after that, I would go for manorialism sounds good, and so is bailiffs. You know, building slots. And economic buildings is also very attractive to me. As long as I remain culture head. So, at least I'm happy that I picked that option up. You'll do. Piety loss. King Leonzo is elected king of East Francia by its dukes. Their sporty 16 night the splintered Frankish kingdoms into a new Holy Roman Empire. His dream won't come true. Get ready. I'm willing to spend all my money to depart, to go to the university over in Florence. What's your dynasty legacy? Famous? Well, I'm reputable. Hey there, suppose we can exchange hostages between one another. Hey, like, how about Rebecca for one of yours? Will not accept because personality reasons and many other things. I mean, it's another way for me to get renown. What about that guy over there? He's famous. Like, would he be more willing? No. Even more not. Distant realm is another factor. Very well. Let's get going. We're going to take the quickest route possible. You know what, for once, bring the Silk Road merchants with you. Not only, travel will be slowed down a bit, but gives you more time to have travel safety up. Yeah, I'm willing to spend all that. I would like to study hard. And then after that, I'm going to go on what I would call a Grand Italian Tour to travel all these places. Oh, that's new. And so is that place. So your priority right now is just, well, find the fastest way to Firenze. And then once you enter there, then we'll go all over. Especially to Rome. So the travels in Tapara will begin. But here's the thing though. This is gonna, like, I will end this episode after the university studies are concluded, and we'll stop it right there. Next episode will be more about the travel across Italy and its surrounding areas, like Corsica, Sardinia, and coastal Croatia, before returning home. And may potentially make some money out of it, because my diplomacy and stewardship skills are good. Ready? Let's go. Gonna be gone for a while. This is our captain. And the Silk Road traveler is this man. So glad to see that that's back to normal now. Our income isn't as great as it once was, but damn it, once I get back home, it's going to be splendid. Maria Sakai is the regent. She could get a first-hand experience of this. And while you're gone, to the regency, fill the coffers. By traveling together with Kabil and his merchant caravans, I've come across business opportunities I would not have otherwise. While in West Eswan, we were able to secure a favorable trade deal with merchants we met there. I could accept the deal as it is, or risk the haggle and get even more out of the merchants. They might refuse, and the deal might fall through. I like those odds. They fail. We got lots of prestige to burn, so I'm willing to gamble on that, since we have a decent income. Get back on your horse there, Rebecca. Time for your petty squabbling. Having another one of my personal domain would be good, but the question is where? Where would I want it? Probably take a part of Egypt. You know, there's that place. You should consider that. So hasten our journey indeed. While passing through the villages of Ibshire, I spent some time talking to locals. One thing that stands is their intense loyalty to their liege. One villager talks such passion they would think they were describing a lover rather than a ruler. I'll make my subjects equally loyal. Just after these quick events and nightfalls, we enter the local farm estates of Bushman. The estate owner celebrates us warmly and promises to host a lavish feast for us. Once the feast starts, we dine on a variable menagerie of roast animals, stews, soups, breads, and the like. In the morning, silence approaches as I enjoy my breakfast. My lord, hosting such an extravagant shindig as yesterday could be expensive. Why would I imprison this man? Maybe. No, we have Shakanda. You should pay me for the prestige that I brought to your farm. There we go. Let's try it again. Fail. He is calm and forgiving today. Still is a boulder and a power wind in the back to boot. It seems it'll be an easy day for the rowers below, but then I spot a mangled corpse of a ship buried nose first into some jagged rocks just ahead. There does appear to be any survivors, and the rocks would be no trivial thing to navigate. Yet I feel compelled to go investigate this mysterious wreck. Let's investigate. As suspected, the wreckage contains no life, save for a few birds pecking away at the half-eaten corpses of the travelers which came before us. Upon closer inspection, I see something shining in the bloodied beak of a bird. With a high-pitched squawk, it drops its object into the wreckage and flies away, leaving me to collect this intriguing object. A splendid thing. A small bell beaker. Plus one learning. Bit of prestige. A bell beaker with an intricate pattern. Alright. Something to show for it. That's 2 less gold than the last time we have this trade pound thing. It's November 2nd, to remember that. That's the day where you get additional gold from the little trade thing. Okay, you managed to convert some of this. It's like, yes, there are a couple out in the desert, but no, some of them have entered here. And mind you, there are no Nubian cultures. It's mostly Benja with some Bedouin. We don't plan on introducing Nubian culture over there until much later time. Hearing several thuds and angry screams coming from outside, I hasten out from below deck to only find Agatha and Tensai. I have no wonder idiocy, her hysterical doxy. Agatha comes foot in the deck. Your order wine is tired, Johnny. Scream, hurry there, you got every crossroads to talk. We ain't got time for your petty squabbling. Which means travel slow. Man overboard. Choppy waters are enough to make any experienced sailor seasick. As we roll back and forth in the waves, the people on the ship are moving slowly to seek shelter below. I notice Outlaw Governor looking out on the railing or turn his way to make toward the hull deck. Before he has anyone time to react, the ship rolls sideways and he falls in the dark water. That's my Master Hunt bodyguard at night. Save him! So, 91% chance that we'll save him. 0% chance that the crew saves, but he was injured in the fall. 8% chance that he drowns. He drowned. Damn. Unlucky bastard. You're the youngest. You're a bodyguard now. Great Gazelle hard destroyed. Seas around here are thick with Pomeranian traders. What the hell? What are they doing out there on this side of the Mediterranean? They're going about their usual crowd carrying rare and exotic goods in one point. One such merchant ship holds an item within that immediately takes my interest. The more I laid my eyes on the Maritime Trading Handbook. I know I could never find anything like it back in Nobadia. It must be mine. That could potentially be useful. Slavic Pagan Pomeranian. An expertly written handbook on the nature of Pomeranian maritime trading practices up in the Baltic or in the Mediterranean, whatever you're doing out there. Yeah, I'll take it. Not gonna use it, obviously, but it's for keeps. Perhaps during wartime, whenever we travel by ship across the Red Sea or something. If we decide to take a war to them or something like that. Just we're about to set out, it starts snowing. I can't help but curse my poor luck had I see the clouds coming in for a while. It doesn't seem to let up anytime soon. We want to make a journey on time at the setup, but riding through a snowstorm is risky at best. An opportunity to rest, I say. Traveling through the rugged terrain of Forley. Challenge arises as the grassland becomes a labyrinth of tall grass. The master horse Theodosios and my knight Paulus begin to argue about the best approach to traverse this treacherous trail. Theodosios, your suggestion is reckless, exclaims Paulus, physical frustrated. Theodosios retorts, and yours is cowardly. It seems our entourage at an impasse. Listen to me, you need to work together. Safe routes for the next 30 days, please. We're almost there. And we're here. Santa Repata. Following the ancient Roman walls near its northern gate, this early Christian basilica has been home to Florence's Christians since before the time of Constantine. It has suffered arson and looting, reconstruction and blessings. It contains original naves and elegant round arches. Still, as the city grows, the old basilica may grow with it. We know that place very well. As we arrive here in Firenze, a soft rumor of a river been falling for a while becomes stronger now. Some members of the entourage talk about making a short stop, get some fresh water, and rest their feet. There's a stone bridge when the path turns. A couple of men with rested their backs against the parapet. One hits the other on the side and points to our group. The third man comes up shore, another looks at us after spinning in the river. You know, he says, this is actually a toll bridge. You don't still show him. Bait him. Here we are. Firenze. Friends. Good. I'm finally here, walking the halls of Florence, revered seat of all knowledge of the Catholic world. It used to be Rome, but don't know what happened to it. I have so much to learn from the holy men and women who gathered between these venerable walls, out of all these ancient scrolls and books. Of course, major centers of culture are also active markets and offer all the distractions that the student could ever desire. As I consider all my possibilities, the locals look at me with a mixture of curiosity and confusion. It's clear that it's not every day they see us Nubian, unless they mistaken me for a Moor, what they also call, those North Africans. It's time to get started. Florence is often home for fervent debates among teachers and students alike. I took a lightning lecture from our teacher, Obizo. I found myself dragged in one such debate with noticed her, Camilla. No, you're making no sense. You are completely misrepresenting the philosopher's point, I scream. You are completely delusional, she fires back. From the corner of my eye, I see Obizo stare at us with a pensive look on his face. But, as the master said, 99% chance he becomes convinced. Much more successful. Excellent start. Hey. Married daughter of Kordofan. Kordofan is Coptic now? Praise the Lord, they've seen the light. Sure. They're no longer heathens. Today, our teacher Obizo begins. We're going to examine the anatomy of a falcon. Next set of members spreads to lecture halls. We appreciate the hooded bird standing proud of the teacher's gloved on. Much can be learned by the study of body of animals, as the ancients taught us. Does anyone want to help me with the dissection demonstration? I volunteer to help. Antonio, one of the most respected teachers of Florence, is clearly a foreigner. His accent and manners betray him as a Cisalpine. While not strictly necessary for my studies, learning his mother tongue would foster a privileged relationship with Antonio, which is bound to be a good investment for the future. I could learn Italian vulgar language. 85% chance success, 50% chance failure. Learn this language. Right. I know Italian. Which is useful when I get to travel over most parts of the region that speaks Italian. Attention students, teacher of his house. Duke Burgundo is told. Our benefactor, Duke Burgundo, is paying us a visit. He is ruler of these lands. Be on your best behavior. You're debating shadowy rumors. I'm quite fond of the subject myself. Hope your studies are going well, the Duke says while nodding energetically. The Duke has the power to assign special privileges to students such as myself. Perhaps take this opportunity to speak up. I would like to make a generous donation. He is the Duke of Tuscany from House Nice. Made it up to 2. You're doing very good. Teaching at Florence takes place for the most part in an oral form. Students are encouraged to exercise their rhetorical prowess and show the progress of their learning in debates in front of their peers and teachers. Today, Abozio asked me and Camilla to take up opposing sides on the topic of generals of ancient and modern times. Discuss it out. 99% chance of success. Let me begin for the scriptures, as everyone knows. Want to debate. What kind of student are you? A student with very little learning, that is. You're terrible. Students, we have an esteemed speaker joining us today. My teacher, Antonio exclaims, let us welcome Bishop Ottone of Tuscany, the utmost authority on Catholic doctrine in Firenze. Greetings, Ottone. Starts sounding while maintaining eye contact. Today we'll be exploring theological treatises and how it connects to the nature of God. The other students straighten their backs, computer close. This is going to take a while. Just fiercely scribble notes. Don't do any killing. Sickness and pestilence continues as how we march through Nobadia, laying low as a noble alike. That brutal indiscriminate truth rarely lays itself bare until moments like these. I can only watch the signs of decision step away from the body of my wife. I move closer to reach out her hand. It's still warm. How can a heart do this kind of pain without breaking? It cannot be possible. Yet here I am, my heart beating out whilst yours is gone quiet. Oh, Pelagia, my darling, life will not be the same without you. She's out of old age. What sickness and pestilence? Alright. This has been such an amazing experience. When I left, I can even imagine a number of wise men that study in Firenze. No depth of their thinking, no breadth of their research. Just being part of the same environment has made me a much better person. With my newly gained knowledge, I can make my way home very satisfied. On the other hand, my teacher, Obizo, made such a great impression on me, I'd like to spend more time together. Oh my goodness! A renowned schemer! He's a whisper in the wind, a shadow on the wall, knife says and words with no. Yeah, please teach me more. I learned the language, and I got this book, Nubian Master of Game. An elegant tome that shows an insightful understanding of hunting, as it touches subjects such as many varied quarry and the methods for hunting them. The cover is ivory, that's carved to display a repeating image of religious symbols. Alright, stop right there. You're most certainly going to be my new spy master. He's the man. Okay, we'll end this episode here, as I will pick out the two. Lower the cast spell cost. Engineered for destruction whenever we get to introduce siege weapons into our army. Yes. Because with time, as I will be, traveling across Italy for the foreseeable future. Wait a minute. Yes, clan government. This yet. I was about to say, what kind of name? Go back in time. Oh, so they originally hailed from Syracuse. Somehow they went over there and then all that. And the Sicilian frontier struggle is ongoing down there. And it's leading towards colonization. And look. He's got it all. If he ever expands around more, he's the one that could potentially permanently end the Sicilian frontier. I mean, they could be the ones to do it. So in the next episode, we're going to go cross-country travel. Travel from northern Italy, then go to central, to the south, Sardinia, Corsica, maybe Burgundy, and then Venezia, Croatia, and then back home. Who knows, maybe stop by these areas too. Or hell, maybe go all the way to the mining settlement and go to the Silesian Gates. I've been wanting to go over there again from that past event from a previous episode. So lots of traveling to do for the next episode. But until then, so long for now.